There he
What up, Coop?
is,
What up, Jmac?
the man joining
Can
us
you see me
now.
now?
Yeah, we can see you.
Yeah.
All right, good deal.
It's all
Good
right,
deal.
man. You look good. You look fancy. It's all good, man. It's all good.
Hey, hey, how's that
But
setup there, bro?
it's fire, right?
I like it.
Hell yeah. Come on now. Come on. But joining us now is past Baylor baseball player and current player in the Washington Nationals organization is Jared Mackenzie. Past fifth round, right? Fifth round pick.
Fifth round.
Fifth round in
Yep.
2022. Career batting average of 241 with I think 50 ribbies in the minor leagues last year and a half, I guess you could say. How are we doing, man?
Good. Hopefully get that 241 batting average up a little bit here
Hey,
in the next couple of years, but
That's
we're
not
working
bad. That's not
on it.
bad.
it's part
We're
of it.
working on it.
It's part of it, man. But
Yeah.
we'll get it started off, man. Kind of share a little bit about your journey from in baseball from kind of start first year at Baylor or so, and then kind of how you ended up to where you are now in the Nationals organization.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first off, I think, you know, going into Baylor, I had an opportunity to start as a freshman. Their entire outfield crew was leaving. And so I basically I didn't really have too many opportunities out of high school that were super big. Baylor was the biggest probably, and so I was super fortunate and blessed to go there. And I kind of made a role for myself early on, and I knew center field was probably going to be the spot I was in, just kind of based off the fall. And after the fall, started there every game. Granted, it was only 16 games. We had a good little squad that first go around. Nevin, who's with the Dodgers, he was in left. We were both freshmen, left and center. Our right fielder was with he's with the Blue Jays now. Transition as a pitcher, and then obviously our shortstop was Nick Lofton. He was a first rounder that year. Andy Thomas was a catcher. He's with the Giants now. I mean, we had some talent, plus a couple arms that got drafted. I mean, we were good, and then COVID hit and kind of threw everything in a whirlwind. But then, I don't know. I basically just kind of tried to or pick up where things left off after my freshman year, and had a pretty good sophomore year. Struggled a little bit early on my draft year. I think I put a little bit too much pressure on myself, but sometimes that's baseball and that happens. And but no, fortunately, I was able to be selected in 22 and got my first year under the belt now. So just trying to continue on and live the dream.
There you go. It's my boy
Yep,
Jmac, baby. It's my favorite.
that's right, Coop.
uh, what aspects of your game do you feel you most improved on since you were just a young buck at Baylor?
Yeah, I think outfield. Hitting's kind of always gotten me where I am. I think I've always kind of had a natural hit tool. Um, the game in pro ball is definitely different than college, but um, and that's an adjustment at the plate. But I think as far as the outfield, I actually had the opportunity. My outfield coordinator is Coco Chris my first year. So yeah, with the Red Sox for a while, A's, Guardians, you name it. But man, I didn't know that you could know so much about the outfield, and whether it was cuts and relays, just footwork, balls against the wall. I mean, that dude had a brain like no bunting too. Like that's another aspect of the hitting side. But I just think ultimately, just defense. Every little step, every millisecond you can to make a play faster. He had a way and idea of what to do. So he by far taught me a lot early on.
Nice.
Thank you. You played a lot of baseball at all different levels. What do you say your most memorable moment of all of it was? If you can just narrow it down to one or two.
Yeah. Well, I had the opportunity to go play in the Cape Cod, and that was the summer of 21. And speaking of that, I just got done having dinner with my host mom from the Cape. She's down in Austin, and she still lives up there, whatever. Man, she's probably early 70s, late 70s, just an awesome, sweet lady. And man, for me that summer, I lived with Jared Southard, who he pitched at University of Texas. He's with the Angels. He's still down here, so we grabbed dinner with her tonight. But um, that summer for me was kind of a big transition as to here's a glimpse of pro ball, the day to day, playing every single day, being around guys who are super, super talented. Um, but just being up there in the Cape in general, I think that was by far one of the coolest baseball experiences that I'll forever hold on to.
No doubt. Big, Mr. Big Time over here, Round Rock legend, Jared Mackenzie,
No.
Nationals organization, which is crazy. There's 3 fellow Dragons now in the Nationals organization, which is insane. And,
3, yep.
Mason Thompson, Jmac, and then old Travis Sakura.
Yep.
But,
Travis Sakura struck me out at Instructs here in this past September. He got me good.
I mean, it's all right, man. It's all right.
So he throws about 100, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you kind of talked about the differences in the game, kind of from obviously to the pros to even just at the Power 5 level. What would you say, if you had to narrow it down, has been the biggest difference you've seen personally from that Power 5 level now, even just in the minor leagues, but still playing with all these dudes who are just straight pros, dogs?
Yeah. I tell this to people a lot. The level of baseball from low A to high A, double A, triple A, whatever, you have your guys who are extremely talented. And you can see those guys. I mean, just everybody's talented, don't get me wrong, but just off the charts talented. And those being like the Sotos, the Mike Trouts, the Judges, like there's guys in systems who are just freaks. But other than that, it's pretty much pretty consistent, across the board as far as talent goes. The biggest factor I think of who continues to trend upward is how consistent can you be. I think for me, mentally is one of the biggest challenges from college to pro ball. And then just the pitching. You see your good Friday arms in college, being in the Big 12, and you had your good couple relievers, but ultimately, you see guys like that every single night, and if not better, some of them. And so that's kind of an adjustment. And the fastball, you have a lot of orgs now telling people throw that induced, that fastball at the top of the zone. You still have your sinker guys that locate down and away, but people who have a good ride and good care on their fastball, if they can live at the top of the zone, it truly is a tough pitch to really get a handle of. So I think that's the biggest adjustment.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best of the best. It's talent everywhere, you know what I'm saying? So,
Pretty much.
but what advice would you give to a current high school player or even a college player that's looking to play at the next level?
Man, it sounds cliche, but you got to enjoy it. And I have to remind myself that too, because it does become a job sometimes. You're at the field from noon to 10 every day, and you get your Mondays off, but noon to 10 playing baseball, it's what you dream of. But at the same time, you have to put yourself in a position to say, man, there's a lot of people who would like to be doing this. Make sure to have fun, make sure to enjoy it, because at the end of the day, whenever my time is done, I'm blessed that I've had this opportunity, and just to not take it for granted. And if you want to, people who want to play at that highest level, continue to work hard, because it doesn't get easier, but enjoy every step of the way, and just remind yourself of that.
Yeah, you kind of touched on that. What is the grind like, especially in the minors? You hear about, buses all night, and then you have to,
Yeah.
play and jump on the bus again. What exactly is that like? And how, does it get old, or you just have your teammates to pull you through it?
You have your guys who, you're with the entire year. You have people who come in and out. And I think ultimately you just have to stay focused on the next day. Cause I mean, you'll look back and your 20, 25 ABs and that just happened in a week. You can't get caught up in what you did on Tuesday or Wednesday because you still got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday games. And we had one bus ride. We played at our place in Wilmington, Delaware. That the game started at 7. We got done around 10, and game ended at 11, or the bus left at 11:30 that night, and we drove at North Carolina at about 9 in the morning. So sleeping on the bus, that was a brutal trip. And then from there we went to Greensboro, North Carolina, and then bus back. We got back around 2, 3 in the morning just because we had a noon game on that Sunday, but that was a brutal one. Fortunately, which I don't think many high A's ever get to do, is go fly somewhere. We flew to Bowling Green, Kentucky. It was like a 15-hour bus ride if we did it, and thankfully we didn't have to do that. But other than the travel, that was pretty much the most of it. But I just think, yeah, day to day, you have to put yourself in a place where, first off, you're staying healthy to be in the lineup every day, but second off, don't get caught up in what you did yesterday, because yesterday's over with. You got the next day and the next day, and they just keep stacking on. That's the thing about Pro Bowl. How many good days can you stack on?
Yeah. And speaking of, this will be your second spring training, right? So what does that look like for you, and what is spring training like, and what level do you think you'll be starting at this year in spring ball?
I'll just say spring training's chaos. It is people running everywhere. You got 180 people along with 50 members of staff, and you got 6 fields, and there's something going on at every single one of them. You're there having breakfast starting at 7:30 a.m. and you don't leave till 4. I mean, and that's spring training is a grind in itself. Prior to the season, honestly, the season's almost sometimes easier because you get to sleep in and then go to the field and then go play, versus just waking up there all day, trying not to nap when you get back because you'll screw up your sleep for the next day. But I think ultimately I'll probably start in high A. I just didn't finish too strong last year. We'll see how spring training goes. Maybe something work out, and the pieces fall into the puzzle where I might end up in double A. But at the end of the day, the goal is for sure to be in double A at some point by the end of the year, definitely, if not beyond.
There you go. Well, kind of last question. What's up, man? Last question before you get out of here, man. You kind of just mentioned it. The goal is kind of get to that double A level towards the end of the year, but kind of looking elsewhere, kind of just as your team. I feel like the team aspect in the minor leagues kind of gets just overlooked a little bit whenever it comes to just winning games. What would you say that's kind of like with the team, and what are the kind of goals once that team kind of gets put together? Like, are dudes trying to go out there and like win that division, make it into the playoffs, or do they just kind of care about getting to that next level?
It's different than college in a lot of ways, and that being one of them for sure. Everybody, you go to pro ball because you want to play in the big leagues. I mean, there's guys who, that's a tough question in the sense that you try to be the team guy, but at the end of the day too, everybody is got one goal. I mean, for me, there's three positions in the outfield, and I don't care which one it is, as long as I'm in that lineup, that's your goal. That's what you work towards. And so when you see, you got to think about 3 at this level, 3 at that level. Plus, it's not just 3. There's another guy or 2, just depending on, what they have at each level. And so it is a competition every single day. But I have always been a firm believer in, if you go play and try and win every at bat for yourself, that's ultimately going to help the team. So, it's kind of a mix of both worlds. You do lose a lot of competitive games and atmosphere like you had in college. Some of those Friday, Saturday night. I mean, I remember my first ever big game. It was like maybe the sixth game of the year, we played LSU at Minute Maid, and I was leading off as a freshman. There's 14,000 in the stands, and I was like, wow, this is sick. And you don't get any sort of environment like that in minor league baseball. So you have to kind of compete with yourself a lot of times, and just try and be better than the guy across from you. I mean, at the end of the day, it's 9 versus 1. You want to throw a couple of umpires in there, it's 11 versus 1. What can you do to just make it 1v1? The game's as hard as any game there is, so trying to make it more complicated isn't very beneficial. So I just try to dumb it down as simple as I can. So
No doubt, man. That's what you got to do. When do you report? When you got to go up there?
March 7th, I'm headed out. So about
Coming up.
2.5, 3 weeks, something like that. Yep.
Get after it, man. We appreciate you coming on and joining with us to talk. You know, we've been having some dudes on every week. We had your boy Cole Posey now at Baylor,
There we go.
right? Last week, man. So we got to bring it on, but appreciate you coming on with us, and good luck this year. Go tear it up, man.
Definitely. I appreciate you all, and we'll hopefully get some more people on here that maybe I can give you all a word or two about.
Let's start with your other fellow Mason Thompson, Round Rock.
All right. There we go. All right.
All right, man. We'll see you.
Good luck this year.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, Jared.
Yeah, cool.